Hey guys, Damien here with Three Kings Firearms with a update on the Mark 12 Mod 69. I'm going to get right into the Mod 69. It's got a SR25 or M110 stock, so that means it fucks. Update took quite a while. We were waiting for the GATF to approve my Form 4 for my OCM5, so we'll just start by attaching that. But yeah, the OCM5 is a updated clone to the AEM5, lighter weight, better performance, and from what I can tell, we've shot both cans actually on this gun, so I like the performance that this provides the rifle. Last configuration you saw this rifle in was the configuration I bought it in, besides I bought the optic obviously not with the gun. So it was a factory PRI upper with a PSA lower that came with it with an A2 stock and a shitty trigger and whatnot.
I think that trigger was actually like totally defective.
Yeah, I mean, it would bump fire like 3 rounds, so. Uppers stayed factory PRI besides the suppressor, obviously. Still have the Harris bipod on there. Gonna switch out the thumb style screw for probably an ADM lever style. Optic is still the Leupold Mark V HD, 3.6 to 18. And otherwise, the only thing else different is it's painted. Now, when we get to the lower area, everything's changed. Switched the lower out for Silencer Co. SCO 15. It's got ambi controls. I wanted to compare this to the ADM UIC/ADM4 lower, which is the reason I bought it. If I was going to build this rifle again, I'd probably get another ADM lower. I think they come with slightly better components and they give more when you buy the receiver, as opposed to the Silencer Co. You have to buy a mag release, you have to buy pins. The ADM comes with that stuff. Buffer is still a rifle length buffer system. Rifle length buffer with a Geissele Super 42 spring. Got a Geissele SSAE X lightning bow trigger. Forward controls, 45-degree safety. Silencer Co. bolt catch, bolt release, and a ambi mag release that doesn't come with the lower. You have to supply that on your own. The BCM grip is one of my favorites. Still got the, like I said, the M110 A1 stock, or M110 stock, not the M110 A1. That's the HK
417.
Yeah, the 417. That wouldn't fit on this. And then just a homemade cheek riser there, and a LBT padded sling that probably won't stay on the rifle, but it lives on it for now. There are some things I would do differently. I probably would have went with the illuminated optic. When I first put this optic on this gun, I felt like it was a little much magnification, the 18, but having shot it out here in the Arizona desert where you have 1,500 meter line of sight on stuff.
But there's a hill that's about 1,000 meters away. It's totally engageable.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 meters in Arizona is completely different than 1,000 meters in like Kentucky.
Now, yeah, you can shoot an 8X at 1,000, but for PID purposes, having that 18X is nice. I am probably going to switch this upper mono rail, the PRI rail. It's got the PEC 2 version. I'm going to probably switch to the full Picatinny so that way I can start running clip-on night vision on this. Take my sunshade off and...
Because you're not gonna buy a PEC 2?
Fuck no. I'll slap my maul on this bitch before I buy a PEC 2. But other than that, we've been really happy with the performance this rifle's been providing. It's getting a decent diet of Mark 262. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring my Mark 262 today, so we're just shooting some...
It's starving today.
Yeah, it's starving today. It's just going to shoot some Fiocchi 75 grains.
It's on that Ethiopian shit.
Yeah. But, no, you know, the suppressor really brought the whole package together. And, I mean, it's a heavy gun, don't get me wrong, for an AR-15, but I think it really came together. Was a great application for the accurized SPR Mark 12 upper. Kind of gave it some more modern accoutrements on the lower. I still wanted to maintain the Mod O overall appearance, which is why I still went with a fixed stock. But I wanted the adjustment. It's nice to have the M110 adjustment. Yeah, a modern PRS style stock would have got me more adjustment, but I mean, this thing fucks.
Like, and you know what? It fits the overall aesthetic.
Exactly.
You know,
it does the same thing, and it fits the overall aesthetic, and it balances the rifle nicely because it's heavier than a standard A1 stock. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this gun is
If
that Douglas 18-inch stainless steel adds
if
some
you
weight
had
up
a
front.
if
so.
you had like a standard carbine buffer tube, or like a like a club stock, like an Ace club stock,
They look cool, but
the balance is super far forward, especially with the suppressor. I don't think people understand how much an M110 stock actually weighs. I think in paper it's like 4 pounds.
yeah, I don't know if that's accurate. I haven't taken it off to weigh it, but it's
definitely more than 1.
It's definitely it's 2, maybe even 3, possibly 4
and
pounds.
and that it's it's weight that doesn't do anything to the rifle other than balance it out.
Yeah.
But I think it balances it perfectly. Like you can actually kind of stand unsupported and shoot.
Yeah,
it.
you can. It's definitely heavy, but you can make unsupported shots at 200, 300, 400 yards.
Right.
It's not, preferable, but you could do it.
Right. So, is this rifle worth the squeeze for 5.56, or would you recommend just someone stepping up to like a 308? PRI does make 308 uppers.
So, I don't think you'll go wrong with either, but 5.56, especially like this upper, I mean, it's kind of like got that, it's been to war. Like it's got the proof behind the pudding. And I would agree that, even with 55 grains, I mean, with the suppressor, you're nearing the velocities of a 20-inch. So,
Right. Well, I shot PMC Bronze 62 green tip out of this. Didn't change the dope at all, and you were doped, and it was unsuppressed, granted, but the dope didn't change between your dope for 77 OTMs and the PMC Bronze 62.
Yeah, now granted, we were shooting like 24-inch gongs.
Yeah.
But you still made hits at 700 with it. So.
Right, yeah. So, like, in my opinion, because, I mean, I'm very particular on what I would call a designated marksman rifle and a special purpose rifle. A lot of people would be like, oh, well, if I'm going to spend that kind of money on something like a Mark 12, I'll just get a fucking SCAR. And it's
yes, but
not the same.
You're carrying less ammo. Well, yeah, the gun probably weighs a naked SCAR weighs less than this. But once you start doing all the same shit to a SCAR, it's gonna weigh more.
Right. And like on my 17, I ran that 1-8. I ran that Steiner 1-8, and it was not comfortable.
Yeah.
So standard scopes are not comfortable on SCARs. It's super comfortable to get behind this loophole.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your cheek riser is a little high for me, but
yeah.
I'm, a little bit bigger in some ways than you.
Yeah, some ways.
So, and I think, I kind of hijacking your video a little bit here, but I think if you look at most people, right, they're gonna run with a problematic group of bachelors they call the squad, right, and so most people are gonna be running 5.56, 2.23 guns, right?
If they're fucking sane and sober enough, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
They're just wrong.
I'm an outlier where my 17S is becoming more and more of like a primary weapon for me. And that's just because I really, really love the SCAR platform. But, if we look within our group of friends, most of them are running 5.56 guns, right? So if you consider most people are running 5.56 SBRs or 16-inch 5.56 guns, this gives you more capabilities at a longer distance that's more accurate.
Yeah.
And even if you all standardize on the same ammo.
same ammo they're using.
Yeah.
And same mags, same ammo. Yes, you can
Maybe
have the
longer than I
specialty
want.
ammo that you should know your holds for. But honestly, you don't need to go with such a high-end piece of glass. You don't need to go, you don't need a suppressor.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it kind of brings the whole package together, but you don't need it. And the PRI uppers, just the uppers that you can drop on any AR-15 lower,
Yeah.
they're not that expensive, and you'll get the same performance.
Yeah, I think if we were talking something like the upper itself is 3,000, I don't think it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Even if you were really, really all about it, if the uppers were like $3,000, I don't think it'd be worth it at all. But I mean, I think as it stands now, I think it is totally worth it. I think 20 years, almost 20 years, give or take.
Yeah, since adoption.
Since either adoption or development, it's still punching at or above its weight.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I mean, you could, I mean, our comparison here is my 308 bolt gun. And I'm going to venture to say that MOA-wise, this Mark 12 is more accurate. Part of that can be, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different factors there. But you're able to run your gun faster. You're able to engage faster than I am. You know, I put a lot more energy on target.
For sure.
But
I mean, when I'm putting 3 times, like, you know, I can, in the time it takes to engage once at the same distance with the 308 bolt gun, I can shoot the target 3 times. So, so yeah, I mean, I think the juice is worth the squeeze. Now, like I said, you can just buy this upper to accompany a AR lower you already have. It doesn't need to be a super specific built-out platform. You just need glass and the upper, and you can drop it on any lower. So
yeah, and I mean, for glass, I mean, you talk Leupold. Leupold is an expensive piece of glass. Like, no matter what, that's what, $2,500.
Somewhere.
You know, I'd say honestly, you know, like Primary Arms is putting out a lot of really good quality glass for pretty cheap. Their Gold Series is super good. Like, I have their GLX on my bolt gun. It's super nice, and if someone's like, hey, I bought this Mark 12 upper, or I bought it on like Armslist for like $900 from a guy, and I'm gonna throw a $900 Primary Arms optic on it, I think you'd be totally fine. You know, feed it the right ammo.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Sure. Don't run Tula in this, for sure.
Oh yeah, I don't even think it'll cycle with Tula.
God,
with the suppressor probably would. But
yeah. All right, cool.
Let's get to it.